With Borderlands 4 launching September 12th, the Borderlands team hit me up and said, "Hey, do you want to make a sponsored video explaining what the game is all about?" And I said, sure. So here is my video on everything you need to know about Borderlands 4, sponsored by 2K. If at any point you find Borderlands 4 interesting whilst watching this video, you can check it out through the link in the description. It's releasing September 12th. It's going to be on Xbox Series SX, PlayStation 5, and PC. So, Borderlands 4 is a co-op RPG looter shooter. No, actually, it's the looter shooter. It's the grandfather of the genre, and I think a lot of people will agree with me there. But what even is a looter shooter? Well, as you play through various missions, activities, and boss fights, you'll get the chance to loot different weapons. The more you play, the more powerful weapons become, but more importantly, the best weapons are super rare, and grinding for the best drops ends up becoming a super fun gameplay loop outside of just enjoying the other typical shooter gameplay that the game has to offer. And the Borderlands loot system is really unique. Every single weapon is procedurally generated with different parts. So instead of just dropping random weapons, each weapon will randomly roll different weapon parts that could have different stats, special powers, scopes, or unique traits. Because of this mechanic, the grind for some of the coolest rolls on loot at the highest tier of rarity makes the shooter-looter aspect extremely satisfying in Borderlands. And the Borderlands devs even said that they've tried really hard to make sure the Borderlands 4 loot economy is super fun and satisfying, and I'm really hoping that they stick by their words there. And to make it more interesting, there are 8 different manufacturers. Just like in other Borderlands games, there's different manufacturers that have different strengths and characteristics, but this time there's a new licensed parts system, and you'll be able to find guns that have the effects and attributes of multiple manufacturers in a single gun. So there's even more mix and matching. We have the typical Borderlands manufacturers like Torg, a lot of explosions with these weapons. We've got Vlado with high fire rate and huge magazines. Jacobs, which have critical damage ricochet attacks. Maliwan weapons, which have burning, freezing, and shock effects. And the lovely TDR, which when you reload your gun, you'll toss it away and it'll explode into a grenade, and another one will replicate itself in your hands, which is pretty cool. And then we have Daedalus, which can use multiple different ammo types on their weapons. And then Ripper guns, which take a little bit of time to spin up, but the longer you do so, the more damage you'll get. And then Order, which come from the new Timekeeper's Order faction. You can put more ammo in each burst or each shot to deal even more damage with high accuracy shots. The loot part is definitely what gave Borderlands its fame, but there is actually so much more to Borderlands 4 to talk about. When you start a new game in Borderlands 4, you get to choose your Vault Hunter. These are different characters that have unique stats and abilities, and as you play them more, you'll be able to progress their skills through huge, complex skill trees. In Borderlands 4, each Vault Hunter will have 3 action skills you can pick from, and a skill tree for each of those action skills. First, we have Vex, the Siren. Her first action skill is the Phase Familiar. She can use this skill to summon her minion called Trouble, and, well, you can guess by the name, he's looking for trouble. Vex's second skill, Incarnate, lets her create phase explosions and an offhand blast attack that will boost her movement speed. And then Vex's third action skill, Dead Ringer, lets her spawn phase clones of herself that taunt enemies and deal damage to them. Next, we have Rafa. His first action skill is Apophis Lance. It's an offhand arm cannon that can cause huge ordnance blasts at enemies. His second skill, shoulder-mounted Peacebreaker cannons, will fire out at enemies standing in his way. And his third skill, Arc Knives. With this, he stows his weapons and pulls out dual blades that can deal increased melee damage and huge shock waves. Next up is Amon. His first action skill is Onslaughter, in which he gains increased movement speed, rocket punches, and dashes towards enemies in a fiery blaze. His second skill is Scourge, which lets Amon equip a Forge Shield that blocks all incoming damage. As he blocks damage, a meter will fill up, and the more the meter fills, the more damage he can do with a Forge Wave attack. Then we have Crucible. Amon can use throwable Forge axes, which he can later go and pick up to reduce the cooldown to use again. You can throw Flame axes or Frost axes, and that will do frost and flame damage to enemies. And then we have Harlow. Her first action skill is called 0 Point. It lets you suspend enemies midair with telekinesis-like powers, and then follow up by slamming them into the ground or even into other enemies. Harlow's next skill, Chroma Accelerator, will let her fire out an explosive, unstable energy blast that damages and entangles enemies. And then her third skill, Flux Generator. Harlow can drop pulse mines that entangle any enemies caught in the radius. And with all of these unique action skills, it's up to you how you customize and upgrade them with the huge skill trees Borderlands 4 has to offer. I mean, every single action skill has complex skill trees, and you can really decide what and where to put your skill points into. Coming from other games that have a lot of movement in their DNA, this is what has excited me the most about Borderlands 4. They're going all in on the movement front, and it looks really refreshing comparing it to old Borderlands games. There's a grappling hook, so yeah, grappling hook. You can latch onto areas and pull yourself forward, which makes exploration super cool, and yeah, it can be used during combat as well. We've got jetpacks now, which lets you essentially double jump and glide, and there's also a cool dash that lets you burst through the air with a quick boost in speed. Basically, when you mix that in with all of the cool weapons and new Vault Hunter skills, the game feels more fluid, fast-paced, and action-packed than previous Borderlands games. And I mean, that sounds like a whole lot of moving in the right direction for me. So far, I've kind of delved on the just basic gameplay mechanics, but I think what has always made Borderlands special to a lot of players is the world. It's got its own charm that really can't be replicated. The series is renowned for crude jokes, silly humor, and the kind of satire and comedy that most games miss out on. I feel like too many shooter games these days try to take themselves too seriously, and the world of Borderlands always reminds you that you're playing a game for fun, and I feel like that's what's always important. If you care for story and campaigns in shooter games, then Borderlands 4 has you covered there as well. It should be mentioned though that just because there's a main story, it doesn't mean you are stuck following it through your playthrough. There'll be tons of side quests and other activities to take part in whenever you feel like it. In Borderlands 4, the story unfolds on a new planet, Kairos, where the main game's bad guy, Timekeeper, rules over everything that happens on the planet. As a Vault Hunter, you'll need to fight against Timekeeper to try and save the planet from Timekeeper's tyranny. So, with the world set on Kairos, you can focus on the main story, or at any point just go and explore different side quests across this new planet. Borderlands is often filled with secrets, collectibles, and Easter eggs, and I'm sure the devs have had a lot of fun filling the new world up with fun stuff to explore. I think one of the main ingredients with Borderlands games that's always made it special to me is the 4-player co-op play. The great thing is you can just start a game and your friends can join you at any time, and as you play, loot, and level up, your friends can as well. So you can drop in and play with your friends, level up your Vault Hunter, hunt for rare loot, and then go back to play on your own, and everything you've earned will still be on your Vault Hunter. Oh, and the game supports crossplay on all platforms the game is available on. As a reminder, as PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and crazily enough, Borderlands 4 even has 2-player split screen for console. And that just about wraps up everything you need to know about Borderlands 4 as a bit of an intro to the game. And if at any point you found something interesting about Borderlands 4, you can check out more by clicking the link in the description. Remember, the full launch is on September 12.